even yesterday I had checked the earthquake maps. I check the earth usually every day for earthquakes, hurricanes, you know, any dramatic volcano eruptions and stuff like that. I usually check it just to help me with my research with astrology. So, oh, Catty, can you not see the comments? Oh my gosh, let me see if I can show you guys what's actually going on right now. Let me see, how do I flip the camera? Right, I don't know if you guys can see what's going on, but oh gosh, hold on. This, it's what is happening on the earth right now. Each and every single one of these are earthquakes. Like, this is happening across the globe. So there's certain places that we're going to have to be very aware of. And the whole, what do you call it? Let me see if I can flip back my camera. The whole, what's also interesting that I'm finding, which is actually angering me. I've been doing a lot of research recently on dormant volcanoes and hidden volcanoes. Interestingly enough, there's actually 9 volcanoes in the UK. They never thought to tell us that that was actually a case, but there's 9 volcanoes in the UK. There's one in London, 82 miles or 86 miles exactly from London, in Cambridge. This was known as a sleeping giant. It hasn't erupted in how many hundreds of years, but the fact of the matter is we have a fucking sleeping giant not far away from London, and nobody decided to tell us. Not only is it London, but there's also places in America I'm seeing with some of these wildfires, and I did warn of this on let me go to Central USA. Now I'm going to go into the whole, is it naturally occurring, because there's actually a lot going on. Some of the wildfires that are coming up, they are not they're actually connected to volcanoes that are waking up, and calderas, and that all of these mountains, you know, America has a lot of mountains. They haven't let people know, do you know what, this is actually like a volcano. There's actually a fault here, there's a fault here. So there's a lot of stuff happening, and people are kind of confused, like, why am I getting earthquakes here? Like, this doesn't, the very fact that we had earthquakes in the UK like last week as well, that's, we don't get hit by earthquakes. But there's a lot going on. So geez, I've just seen this. Wait, there's a new whoa, there's a couple fires. There's a 5.2 in Indonesia kicked off today, 5 in Tajikistan, whatever you say. There's been a 5.9 in Greece today. That is very concerning. Now the reason why I'm saying this is concerning is because when you see an earthquake hit, let me show you guys something. When you see an earthquake hit Israel, this is when you know it's going to kick off. But just to answer the question, is it naturally occurring? Let me ask you the question. Does these not look like equally spaced? Like, I mean, I need to show you guys on the other map, but it's on my phone. And in fact, there's 2 different maps when it comes to looking at earthquakes. There's the US model and then there's the European model. They have some earthquakes will show on one, some will show on the other. But when you kind of look at this shit, it don't make no sense. And now, just to confirm, I made a video on my YouTube. Yeah, that's how you know I'm a friggin' goat at this shit. I made a video on my YouTube. I went extra into my Patreon, guys, really talking about this Mars retrograde. I was telling you guys that this is energy directed weapons. There's been, let me see if I can find the article. I posted it. Hold on, let me see. this guys is going to blow your mind, yeah, because so there was 2 wildfires, one in Oregon, one in I'm not geographically well versed on locations, but I'm just attracted to these locations. But now look at this shit. Let me go to this article. Tell me, what the fuck is this? What is this? What is this place? Now these are your these are the fires. Yeah? These are fires. What the fuck is this? What is this? What's going on? And then they ended up blacking that picture, is them blacking it out afterwards. When they found out that people were seeing this, they blocked it out. So you tell me, is this naturally occurring? You tell me. Because that shit don't make no sense to me. There's data being missing. When I'm looking at checking in with these solar flare update people, the amount of times they're like, oh, the data's going missing, the data's going missing, because we can't even show you what's going on at this time and stuff. What's going on? And in fact, just to again confirm what I'm saying, I'm going to show you guys this video. Let me just pause this. Right? Let me show you guys. Ah, sugar. Wait. Let me show you guys this. Just to prove what I'm saying. Hold on. Ah!
The Air Force Association.
Right, let me pull this back up.
It's an honor to join you for this year's Air, Space, and Cyberspace Conference. Thank you to the Air Force Association for hosting an important event that brings together the world's finest aerospace leaders and professionals. First and foremost, I'd like to wish a happy birthday to the United States Air Force. For 73 years and counting, you have provided our nation with unlimited reach, unmatched power, and unyielding vigilance across the globe. As we look toward the next 7 decades and beyond, emerging technologies are fundamentally altering the character of warfare. Our air, space, and cyber personnel will be at the forefront of tomorrow's high-end fight. In the years ahead, wars will be fought not just on land and sea, as they have for thousands of years, or in the air as they have for the past century, but also in outer space and cyberspace in unprecedented ways. Preparing for this requires modernizing our force for high-intensity conflict. It requires strengthening our network of allies and partners, and it requires expanding our warfighting capabilities across all 5 of these domains. In this era of great power competition, we cannot take for granted the United States' long-held advantages. The Air Force, in particular, has maintained uncontested air superiority for decades, with persistent intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, and precision airstrikes anytime, anywhere. However, our near-peer rivals, China and Russia, seek to erode our long-standing dominance in air power through long-range fires, anti-access aerial denial systems, and other asymmetric capabilities designed to counter our strengths. Meanwhile, in space, Moscow and Beijing have turned a once peaceful arena into a warfighting domain. They have weaponized space through killer satellites, directed energy weapons.
Say what now?
In an effort to exploit our systems and chip away at our military advantage. Furthermore, our competitors and adversaries exploit cyberspace to undermine our security without confronting our conventional strengths. They do this all in an increasingly gray zone of engagement that keeps us in a perpetual state of competition. The National Defense Strategy guides us as we adapt the force to this challenging, complex security environment by, first, divesting from legacy systems, second, reinvesting in our highest priorities, and third, making the tough choices required to break from the status quo and continue outpacing.
Listen, this whole video, this guy is Mark Esper. He's the Secretary of Defense for the United States, and he's talking about he's mentioned China and Russia specifically using energy directed weapons. However, part of this don't make sense because the shit that we were seeing, those beams that I just showed you, that was in America. And it was 2 of those beams. It was one that came from the bottom up and then one that came back down. So, and then that actually started off some fires. So I would like to know what's actually going on. But this is the new reality. Remember, I told you guys, war is on a different scale, and I will tell you how different it is. When you see the new Ip Man, I'm talking about Bruce Lee in China, right? This shit goes so deep. They really tell you at the end of this, and it's funny because I was watching it with my partner, and I was like, imagine the military already have this science, like Chinese martial arts science, spiritual arts, okay? Spiritual arts, spiritual warfare, that's martial arts. Please understand, yeah? This shit is different. At the end of Ip Man, they told you that Bruce Lee, he actually taught the military a load of the science. So, like, they're on some quantum shift when it comes to this shit. Like, this is some next shit. And the very fact that they're using space, listen, there's a lot going on. But again, we don't need to be afraid. And as much as it's funny because earlier I was asking myself the question, I was like, because I have Neptune in my 2nd house, Sagittarius, so that I can literally have this energy of I can defeat the elements, like I can defeat this shit, like. But I feel like there's an element to how, again, what I was mentioning about the currency has changed the vibration. It's all about how you see something, and this is why I was kind of getting worried with Kanye, because as much as Kanye is very much aware of everything that's going on, Gemini Club, man, Gemini Club. This is a war in Gemini, I'm telling you. But I was getting concerned because obviously we can see that he's speaking out more, and he's just going to be classed in this whole box of mental health. But his whole thing of coming out, oh my gosh, if I die, which, yes, it's still a very relevant thing to say because it's a very real experience that you're going through. Me, for one, I know about, like, literally running for your life when it comes to these types of crazy people. Not on his level, but on the mental health level that I experienced, it was quite crazy. Those of you on Patreon, you know I've been able to drop a bit more information about some of the stuff that was going on in there. But with Kanye, especially, he's a Pisces moon. He could literally create his reality by his fears, like his hang-ups. You mirror. Pisces is a cosmic mirror. So even me myself, I know that I'm in a very strong projective energy at the moment, especially with manifestation, and it's why I kept talking about this whole manifestation thing, being aware of this energy and really tuning into it. This can play out 2 ways. It can play out in a good way, and it can play out in a negative way, where you can literally prophesy your own nightmares into reality. And that's something that we don't want to do. We don't want to be able to do that. But these people will trick you into this trap of fear, so you end up prophesying your reality, and it ends up taking place, and then you end up justifying why you felt that fear to begin with. No, you manifested that. But you know, it's crazy. Someone said, but Kanye isn't really there anymore. He's been on that second coming of Jesus thing for a long time. Kanye is also an occultist, so he's also a Gemini. People need to understand when he's speaking, he's not a Christian. He's an occultist. He's talking in code. The second coming in Jesus is literally the second golden age that we're all coming into right now, and we're not going to go into the fullness of it. We're not going to be able to experience the fullness of this golden age, because it's going to take a good couple more 100 years to fully enter into the age of Aquarius. But there's some changes that we're going to be able to experience now. But this whole shit is not what you think it is. Like, Gemini is they speak in code. It's the magician. Sometimes this is why even with Trump, people miss certain things that he says, because people literally make everything they say very literal when they could literally be speaking in code at the same time. Kanye is dealing with his own demons right now. He's not necessarily possessed. He's literally just dealing with his own inner demons. That's what trauma does. He's got some harsh transits he's going through right now. I wouldn't want to be Kanye. So I'm just like, listen, Kanye just needs to learn to help himself. And, you know, I feel his passion, and the reason why I understand him is because I've also been through a very intensive mental health experience that mine didn't need to happen. I think even with Kanye just has trauma. Kanye has trauma that has never been dealt with, and one of the things with psychotherapy and psychoanalysis, it doesn't take into consideration trauma. It only sees mental health from a place of illness. So this is where a lot of people struggle with engaging within the mental health system, because they're not even, everything's just been pathologized, but not from a rooted standpoint of, okay, what caused this? What created you to have these types of feelings, to feel very split in yourself? You know, psychotherapy doesn't really come from that angle, which is why I really kind of struggle with this whole kind of field, studying it, but also realizing some of the bullshit that's in it at the same time. But Kanye's going through a very strong push right now. He's going through some very strong, harsh energies that he's having to transmute. He's literally having to face his whole life in this moment whilst try to create a movement at the same time. It's very, very difficult. So what's the word I'm looking for? I don't envy Kanye right now. I have compassion for him in this moment, because I know trauma is not easy to transmute, and I feel like as society we need to have a bit more of a compassionate perspective when it comes to mental health, as opposed to just cutting someone off. And even the whole thing of how we label people's mental health so quickly, like, this is very sensitive for me, because if everyone had labeled me as having psychotic schizophrenia from when I was erroneously locked up in a mental health system for 7 weeks, right, whilst I was actually going through a spiritual awakening, that's all that was taking place. In fact, do you know what the funny thing is? I went through exactly the same thing that happened when I was going through this whole mental health experience literally a couple weeks ago, right? I went through the exact same thing, you know, really getting intense downloads. Nothing crazy. I wasn't acting any crazy. I was calm. You know, I'm just dealing with my own inner head shit, right? But I'm in a very strong place. I know how to deal with that. Like, I had that shit all the time. So when I had my auntie and some people come down, it's like, so this is the exact same thing that was happening? You're absolutely fine. I even had my grandmother come to me, and it was so, it was amazing to just hear her say, because I was like, listen, I'm not crazy. I have a gift. I actually have a gift. And she finally was like, you do have a gift. You're not crazy. I know you're not crazy. So just to hear her just affirm that at that time was a lot for me, because again, my diagnosis got downgraded towards the end to organic psychosis, which, please tell me what the fuck that is. I haven't reconnected with my family, but we just had I had conversations with my grandma that needed to be had. But it just yeah, the whole mental health thing, the whole perspective to mental health is a very dangerous place, and this is why I'm trying to have more conversations about the line between mental health and spirituality, because there is a line. We don't hear people speaking about shamanic initiations and spiritual emergencies, and these are also things that can look like mental health crises, but they're actually someone going, literally transmuting their dark night of the soul. That is not mental illness. And so we have, as a society, we have to learn how to be able to identify who's where, because some people do struggle with mental health illnesses, and that's because they're not able to embody their own light or connect to their own inner light. So they're just consumed by all of their unconscious influences, which they haven't learned how to be able to take control of. We're all at different levels, and yeah, it's important not to, you know, put us all on the same wavelength. But this is why I want to start this whole looking into the mind. I'm doing the Triune Brain webinar on the 3rd of October to begin to have this conversation about understanding the different components of the mind and understand the connection to spirituality, because I don't hear a lot of spiritual people or people within the spiritual community speaking about mental health and its connection to spirituality. So we actually have, how do you know if you for example, when it comes to mental health, spirituality, is it spirit or consciousness, or what we call outer body experiences, all of those paranormal experiences, those are experienced within, or they're activated from your limbic system. This is within your hypothalamus. So this is one of the parts of your brains, right? So spirituality is something that is triggered by your psyche, by your psychology. Now, the key is how you perceive the experiences that you're having. You could literally have a hyperactive limbic system to where your that space of your mind is highly active, and you haven't been able to connect to your frontal lobe, your neocortex, the way you can fully process that information from a grounded perspective. That is mental health issues. So we have to be able to know whether, you know, you're someone who's interpreting your emotional experience, because they all come from the same place, the place of emotions, your emotional experiences, your this can also be past experiences as well, because the same place that creates all of these experiences also holds your memories. So some of the things that you could be experiencing spiritually, you could actually just be picking up a whole next timeline that isn't even this timeline. So discernment comes on so many different levels. Like, is this actually something for now, or is this something that is on a different parallel from my experience? Like, it's real. I 100% agree. I have been around schizophrenics in care facilities, and I don't think it's as straightforward as they are crazy. I think they are energetically being affected by things not everyone can connect with and is protected for. Absolutely. They are aware of a realm that we don't pay attention to. A lot of people don't pay attention to. And they're just becoming a channel for these energies, hence schizophrenia. See, this is, again, like Gemini. Gemini can be considered as the schizophrenic, but it's not schizophrenic. It understands that it has multiple expressions to, or multiple, it can express itself in multiple different ways, because it's taken in so much different information that it just has this, one day it's this, next day it's that. Like, it just is what it is, but it's not bipolar. Like, do you know what's even, I used this example on the video that I did on my YouTube about mental health and spirituality, but you can see someone on the street just having a mania, right? Being happy. Why do we call being like extra happy mania? Why is that not considered normal? Like someone just going and dancing on the road and just not giving a shit what anyone has to say. Why do we say that's not normal? Why do we say that person's crazy? That person's actually more free than a lot of the people walking down on the road, because they don't give a shit. They're actually in tune with their own divine spirit. So our whole perspective of how, like, even art, like we trap ourselves. Like this is something I'm learning how to honor in myself, because I became so closed in my expressions, to the point where I remember I used to sing really quietly all the time, like in my home, because I didn't want to disturb anyone. I used to, you know, deliberately, I just deliberately would just dim my light. Whether it's dancing, I'll close my curtains because I don't want anyone else outside want to see me. And I was like, why do I do that? Oh, because I don't want people to think that I'm crazy. But why should expressing yourself be classed as crazy? Like, there's something wrong with society if that's the way that we see things, and that's the that's how we judge people and their experiences. It doesn't make sense. And the thing is with Pisces don't have no container. Pisces does not have no container. It has no shape. It's water with no shape. So it's like, people are trying to be like, oh, well, Kanye should be like this and he should. No, he's like, I don't have no container. I'm gonna be myself. You can call me egotistical. You can call me all of that other shit. I don't care. I'm being myself. And even that, Gemini and Pisces square. So that's a tension between his sun and his moon, his conscious perception, and how he his internal moon is. Oh yeah, my moon is in Pisces. Listen, I'm in a relationship with a Pisces stellium. Right? I'm a Scorpio stellium. So I've really learned how to understand and have compassion for Pisces. Yeah, because there was a time as a Gemini, I was like, I don't know what kind of karma is with Pisces. You lot just need to go off a cliff, yeah? Because it was crazy. I would love Pisces, but there would always be some kind of karma that I had to resolve that just always became really painful. And I was like, this is irritating. But it's only until fully began to embrace my partner and see my reflection in him, and him being able to see his reflection in me. We're both water signs, we're both reflectors. Pisces and Scorpio, they are the depths of the sea. They're the depths of water expression. They're the depths of intuition, and the depths of, like, this is the thing with Pisces as well, which really pisses me off, especially as a Gemini, because they have intuition, but they just won't say what they see. Most of the times, because they don't really identify it as intuition. They're just in their own little dream world, and things are just doing what it is. But it's a thing where I'm like, just say something. Just speak. Like especially with my partner, he's as a Pisces stellium, he would rather have telepathic conversation than have a fucking physical conversation. I'm like, listen, I can get with all of that telepathy, you know, I got heavy water too, but I'm a Gemini. We're in this human world at the moment, and we have to learn how to communicate here. It's a lot. So UK Nate, I feel like people never listen, so I stopped saying what I see. Yeah, but you know what? People need to hear, and because the thing is, Pisces is, you know what, let me say it like this. Pisces, you guys, I'm waiting for the day when Pisces collectively get together and say we're going to speak, right? Because they hold secrets. It's the 12th house. It's the unconscious house. We don't, you can talk about Pisces, you can talk about the 12th house, but only Pisces understand what the fuck that is. Only Pisces know what the fuck that is. So when Pisces actually starts speaking and expressing that Piscean shit, you're bringing the world onto some game, because we don't know. We're all trying to figure out this shit, right? This heaven, right? That's in your mind, right? We're all trying to figure this out. So let sister know somehow, something like, we're all pulling out our hair. Speak, somebody. Someone flipping speak. On air signs telepathic. Yeah, air signs are telepathic. But with air and water, because air and water is a parallel dimension. Air and water is a parallel dimension, and you've got the subastrals, and then you've got the astrals. The subastrals, like submarine, underwater, marine, all of that, they're able to water amplify. So there is still waves and things that can be. This is how you pick up intuition. You pick it up through water, you know, through your emotions and things. But when it comes to air, it's more of a mental thing. It's a mental awareness. Ralph Smart. Ralph Smart, I need to see his chart, because he's a different type of Pisces. I'm seeing this Pisces on the front battlefield like, we ain't having it, and I'm just like, dude, like, what the fuck is that? We ain't having it. We ain't having it. Tell them we ain't having it. I'm like, I can't have this guy on the front line of my battlefield. We need some fire. That's too much water. I'm going to sleep, man. There are so many times daily when I know something, but I don't know how I know, and I struggle to work it out and vocalize it to explain it to other people. I will get there through pure intuition. Yeah, do you know what? You don't let it pass. When you get it, when you get something, like, honor yourself, because that's the thing, especially with Pisces and Cancer. You guys don't trust your intuition. You don't trust your intuition, which is really frustrating, because you guys are, like, seriously incredibly intuitive. Like, crazy intuitive. Like, that's I'm Jupiter in Cancer, so this is why I'm able to be so deep and accurate with my my readings and stuff. Like, it's not a joke. But Cancer and Pisces, trust yourself a bit more, because the world needs you. The world needs your foresight. I've got 20 seconds remaining. Let me come off and come back on again before it cuts me off. So you guys come back on in the next live. Give me like 2 seconds.